Comics are stupid.
No Harry Potter movie is good.
And you're like, give me the Snyder Cut. Oh, sorry, just walk in front of you here. Gonna put my popcorn down. Oh, sorry, gotta put this here.
Universal needs to sue Sony.
Hey, I'm an idiot. I was fired from Fox. Let me go.
I'd like actually to see Venom just crush Spider-Man.
Hello everyone, so I'm back today, and now if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see the whole new format and all that stuff. If you're listening on podcast apps, this sounds no different to you, so that's all. And so yeah, welcome back to the podcast. Before we start, I want to remind everyone, please subscribe if you're listening to this on podcast apps, because if you click the button, then you can keep getting notified of the new episodes, and there's going to be a lot of them. We've got some cool things coming up, as we always do, and I would highly recommend, honestly, because there's no one to stop my tangents and rabbit hole craziness, that you probably listen to this while you're going to sleep, or you're confined in like a cage or something. Just because I'm sure anyone who knows me, has ever listened to me talk in person, probably wishes they had the ability to turn me off. So you can do that. I don't think you should, but you can do it. I don't know what that was even. Okay, maybe recording at 1:30 a.m. is a bad idea. Who knew? Anyways, we're going to talk about some things. We're going to review what the box is going to be for. It's a very cool thing we're going to do. Now, we got a few other graphics, not today, but in the future. So let's begin. The Rock made some tweets about Black Adam. Now, anyone who knows me knows I hated Black Adam, and I don't really like The Rock as an actor in general. So, what did he say? Well, he said he was talking about how Black Adam made money, and everyone should be happy about that. Now, as we'll learn about later on, that doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because nobody really cares. Now, Black Adam could have made money. We don't know that. We'll never know that, because we'll never know how much it actually costed when you look at actual cost, plus you also look at marketing, right? Because that's the other part of it, which is typically a lot harder to find, and sometimes that can be the difference. Now, obviously, the other part of it we'll never know is we'll never know post box office sale, video on demand sales. We'll never know merchandise sales. Like, all these things are hidden. We'll never really know if this movie is a profitable movie. But you know what we do know? I'll tell you something we do know. And I want The Rock to listen to this very carefully. We know nobody liked it, or at least the vast majority of people didn't like it. And at least anyone with a brain didn't like it. I'm sorry if you enjoyed Black Adam, I guess. I don't know. It was a bad movie. And The Rock tried so hard to make it seem like it wasn't, but in reality, we all knew it was. And we should just accept that, because it's true. Now, The Rock is kind of getting on my nerves in this sense, because of what's come out about what he's been wanting to do, and we'll talk a little bit more later on when we talk more about DC, but what The Rock has done or wanted to do with DC is it seems like he really wants to kind of do his own thing with DC, and now we obviously know there's a new man in town, James Gunn, and I don't think James Gunn likes that very much, because, imagine you're the boss of a company and someone's like, yeah, I want to do my own thing over here. Like, it's not going to work well, because that's not how you run a successful company. Imagine now if, Christian Bale's character in Thor Love and Thunder said, I'm going to really restart the hierarchy of the DC or the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're going to do our own thing over here. You understand how stupid that sounds? Now, Christian Bale's a good actor with, a reputation to being good at acting. The Rock doesn't even have that going for him. So, we maybe need The Rock to take a little bit of a step back and just examine his life and say, look, you know what? Maybe this DC thing isn't for me. Or if it is, I'll do my job in acting, and I'm not going to try to, steal James Gunn's job. Because at the end of the day, we all know he can't do it better than James Gunn will be able to do it. Or at least we think James Gunn will be able to do it. So yeah, that's basically my little Rock spiel. And look, at the end of the day, it may have made money. He may be right. I would have to, I'm going on the assumption he's probably right, because I'm assuming he does have more knowledge than we do. But it doesn't matter, because as we're going to see, James Gunn doesn't care if it made money. He wants his own movies. And we're going to talk about some things. right, like now, but like, you know, I don't know. That's my little rock diatribe or tangent. Not really a tangent, it's a topic on the docket. So we gotta talk about it. So anyways, we've done that. Let's talk about the DC formula. So this is where I'm gonna spend the majority of this time of however long this episode is. Because there's so much stuff happening with DC right now. I just feel like I need to talk about it. And then I realized I can talk about it. And people hopefully will listen to me talk about it. So I'm going to talk about it. Anyways, so let's start with the box. So the box is going to feature tweets that we want to talk about. And you know, and it'll be tweets we want to talk about. Key tweets for the episode. And if you can't see the box, then you should go subscribe to us on YouTube so you can see the box. So the box today, and I'm going to make the formatting nice and better, and maybe we'll do like a little reveal thing. But for now, this is the box for today. James Gunn had a whole big Twitter thread, and I picked out 2 tweets for the box. So far as the story yesterday in The Hollywood Reporter, some of it's true, some of it's half true, some of it is not true, and some of it we haven't decided yet whether or it's true or not. That's the first part. I want to focus on that one a little bit, okay? So, there was a story in The Hollywood Reporter, as James Gunn has nicely alluded to in his tweet. This story was bombshell after bombshell. Like, I was sitting there saying, what the hell is happening? So I have some notes actually today about some of the story. I took things from the Hollywood Reporter article and just put it together, okay? So, it looks like, if we take the Hollywood Reporter story, and we'll go down this hypothetical path first. If we take this story from the Hollywood Reporter to be absolutely 100% fact, which again, probably isn't, but we're going to go down this hypothetical first. That means, according to the Hollywood Reporter, James Gunn is basically taking the eraser and erasing everything in the DC universe. Wonder Woman 3, canceled. More likely than not, that's probably 100% true, regardless of what path. But again, let's go down this hypothetical scenario. Wonder Woman 1 made $821 million. Wonder Woman 2 flopped because of COVID. And the fact that no one go to a movie theater. Otherwise, they probably would have made at least $500 million. Right? Second, Aquaman is gone. Aquaman made $1.1 billion. $1.1 billion. And so far, let's do some math here. They've combined for $1.9 billion worth of box office. Actually, we're closer to $2 billion if you want to count Wonder Woman 2's box office, right? Like, that's $2 billion worth of revenue. Or not revenue, but like, well, yeah, revenue, I guess. Box office revenue. They're willing to scrap. That's how committed to James Gunn's vision they might be. Nothing's been approved yet by the people who scrapped Batgirl as cost savings. So I don't know if whatever I can't even remember his name now. The crazy dude who runs Warner Media, if he is gonna say, hey, $2 billion plus whatever Aquaman 2 makes, which will maybe make it at the very least probably $2.5 billion. Let's just get rid of all of that and start again. I don't know. Maybe he's really committed to James Gunn. And if he is, then good on him, because you're canceling 2 franchises that have combined for $2.5 billion at the box office. Again, we're assuming Aquaman 2 makes at least $500 million, which I don't think is that hard. Now, the other thing they said is Black Adam 2 probably isn't happening. And I'm sure The Rock is probably super surprised about that one. But he probably shouldn't be. And Superman 2 might be gone too, and Henry Cavill might be gone. And I can tell you for one thing, if that happens, I will be the first one cheering, because I don't like Henry Cavill as Superman, and I will say that forever and ever and ever. He's a great actor. I don't like his Superman, and that's the deal. So that's kind of, if we went down that Hollywood Reporter stuff, that Hollywood Reporter article, that's kind of where we're going. Now we're going to assume The Flash is also gone. And the other thing that came out, I think it came out today, kind of separately, Michael Keaton and Michelle Pfeiffer would have had a Batman Beyond movie, which is canceled. And that movie would have involved Batman Beyond, and would have involved Michael Keaton's Batman and Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman, and then they get a relationship. That hurt my soul because I really like Batman Beyond, but trust in James Gunn is what I'm going to say for now. He's got my full trust, mainly because DC has struggled to make me interested in them, and maybe this will help. So we're assuming Flash is going to basically be the way to get rid of everything, right? And that's kind of what the Hollywood Reporter article is saying. Clean scrub, start from the beginning, okay? Now, and the other thing I forgot to put in here, and which was I forgot to put in my notes, is there's some idea that they want to recast Jason Momoa as Lobo. And I love that, by the way, because, not because of every fan art of Jason Momoa as Lobo ever, but because, actually, no, that's exactly the reason. So, now James Gunn said not everything's true, and he said he's not going to make everyone happy, yada, 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 as you can see in the second tweet, which I will read to you right now, but I have to change pages because of the preparation that's involved. Okay, here. We know we are not going to make every single person happy every step of the way, but we can promise everything we do is done in the service of the story and in the service of the DC characters we know you cherish and we have cherished our whole lives. So, now this segment is titled The DC Formula for a reason. It looks like James Gunn is planning a cinematic universe. Now let's examine, let's critical think a little bit here about some of these claims that were made in the Hollywood Reporter article, okay? Now, Wonder Woman. Is Wonder Woman 3 most likely dead? Yes. I think that is probably the one thing, if anything in this article is true, is Wonder Woman 3. And there's a notable absence, which we'll talk about in a second, because it does need to be spoken about. Wonder Woman 3 probably dead in its current form with Patty Jenkins directing. Is Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman dead? I don't know, okay? I'm mixed on this, right? Because, see, we've witnessed how many Spider-Man and how many Batman and how many of all these other characters. I don't think it would be hard. But do people want to do it again, right? Like, at some point, does it not become emotionally draining if DC keeps doing this and keeps erasing and rewriting and recreating these characters over and over, right? Because look, we're assuming James Gunn is is there for the long run, but what if he isn't, right? We keep doing this where Green Lantern was really the start of the universe, then it was Man of Steel, then it was apparently Black Adam. I know it's only been technically 2 live action Wonder Womans ever, but do people want to do this so close together? I don't know. Maybe not. We've got to do some opinion polling there. But I don't know. I would be down for a new Wonder Woman. I would be down for Gal Gadot to return in a rebooted thing. But I think that's harder to rationalize with people in people's minds. I think seeing Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman in a non-connected movie to the other ones is just going to be too hard for people. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm not giving people enough credit for being smart or able to separate that. But I feel like it's going to be pretty annoying, especially for people who don't know, it's not connected, right? So, and obviously, we know for a fact Ben Affleck is done as Batman forever and ever and ever and ever, and you can stop saying he's going to come back because he's not coming back. I think Michael Keaton's also probably done as Batman forever. I have a hunch, and again, we'll talk about this a little bit later, but I think Batman's done forever, in a way. But not really, because... Anyways, we'll talk about that later. So, then we've got the second part of this. So, I think Wonder Woman's gone. I do think Wonder Woman 3 is done because Patty Jenkins has had some things, and she also is apparently... I think she's still doing the Star Wars project. She's got some other movies and stuff, so I don't think she's really, I don't think this is something which is going to happen, and I think Wonder Woman 2 was just such a badly received, even though it was during COVID. I just think you can understand why they want to cut their losses and just restart it, right? And again, you can do Wonder Woman, whatever, but now the second part of this, Black Adam, can the entire thing yes. Now, there's one character, unfortunately, I'm going to say this, and I don't want to say this, and I don't think James Gunn is going to do this. I think we need the end of Amanda Waller in the DC universe. And what I mean by that is, as much as I love Viola Davis, great actress, I think if she just keeps appearing in everything, eventually you have to learn how to cut it and say, look, we're doing it all. Like, if you're doing it all again, do it all again. Do not half-ass, like, doing it again. Do it all again. And so I think the bigger thing which we have to look at is, can she, like, is he willing to do that? Because we know he did do the Suicide Squad, right? Is he willing to basically say, look, we're cutting our losses. That includes the Suicide Squad. That includes all of this stuff. There's still movies, obviously they still exist, but we're going to cut our losses. We're starting fresh at zero, right? Like, what it becomes difficult, and I think what is he's going to learn very, very quickly is difficult, is if he decides that he wants to, start trying to take some things from here. Oh, can we take, like, Superman, and can we take Black Adam, and can we take Wonder Woman, and let's get rid of the rest, So I think you have to cut it clean, and you have to start again. New characters, new faces, new ideas, right? And I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. But I just don't try to meld things, okay? We know Walter Hamada, who was in charge of DC before James Gunn, wanted to build up to a Crisis on Infinite Earth type thing. Again, what the hell was going on at DC before? I don't even understand it. How do you build up to one of the bigger DC events without any background? Like, nobody cares about any of these DC characters they've introduced, but I don't even know I guess I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. Maybe I've got no idea what I'm talking about and they're all right, but I'm going to have a hunch to say that is not true. So that's kind of the first part. If we took the Hollywood Reporter article as it's stated, gone, okay? Now, what's the direction forward? Well, and we talked about the fact that we believe Wonder Woman is probably gone for sure to some extent. Wonder Woman 3 is gone for sure. Now, what were the things not mentioned? Batman, the Matt Reeves Batman, and Shazam. Now, why would those not be mentioned in this article, you may ask? Well, technically the article mentioned Shazam and Batman by saying we don't know what's happening with them, but this is my hunch, okay? And now, this is where we go into a little bit of speculation, but not all the speculation. So, I think they like Batman as Batman. And what I mean by that is I think they like Matt Reeves' successful Batman universe he's kind of building. And I think they're like, hey, do we need Batman to build the universe we want to build? Maybe we don't. And I know people are probably looking at me saying, you're crazy. Well, of course they need Batman. Batman makes money. But, like, if Matt Reeves is over here chilling, building his universe, he's doing little Gotham type things, Penguin series, the Arkham Asylum series, he's got a little Joker running around. You got Batman, you got, make nice little money. And it's not connected to anything. So just leave it, Like, it's not like it is something connected where you have to do more. Like, you can just kind of chill and leave it on its own inside, right? And I don't think that hurts anybody. Now, the question is, do you double cast Batman and have a Batman in your universe, or do you not? But I think you can easily rationalize, like, hey, look, that's a different Batman. Look, we had 7 Jokers running around. We had a Lego Joker and Joaquin Phoenix's Joker running around basically the same time. Not really, but, like, you know what I mean, right? So, like, is it unbelievable to assume that they could do that? I don't think so. So, yeah, so they didn't talk about Batman. Now, the Shazam, I hate to say it. Actually, no, I don't. I didn't like Shazam. Yeah, Shazam's done. After 2, just like Aquaman, after 2, it's done. Now, David S. Sandberg, he ain't going anywhere, I hope, because I think he would fit perfectly into what my hypothesis, which we'll get to, with my DC Christmas wish. I was supposed to say Christmas wish list, but I guess Christmas wish now. But I think he would fit perfectly into the new vision of DC, and that James Gunn, I have a hunch, might go toward, and I think he should stick around. Shazam, unfortunately, gone. Which, Zachary Levi, good job. You did a good job, I guess. I didn't really like your movie, but that's me. But I think that needs to be gone. Like, I think just practically, if you're cutting everything, you have to cut that. Even though technically Superman was only headless in that. I don't know if they officially released a cut with his head. I don't remember. But, yeah. We also know Flash is probably going to write out all these characters anyway, so it'd be interesting to see if Shazam makes a surprise cameo because, Also, Blue Beetle. I forgot about Blue Beetle. Yeah, Blue Beetle exists. That one I don't even know, because again, I don't know if they connect them. Like, you can just kind of make Blue Beetle a standalone movie and just let it be, right? Like, Blue Beetle's coming out. We've kind of learned that cost-cutting Warner Discovery thing is not interested in cutting Blue Beetle, which means they're interested in letting it go out. And if it's successful, maybe you find a way to work it into your universe. And if it's a failure, maybe you don't, right? So I don't think they care too much about Blue Beetle in that sense. But on the other side of it, I guess, it more has to do with what do you do with Shazam, right? Because Shazam's kind of connected, but not really. You could probably do both, to be honest, but I don't know. I wouldn't put it past that kind of, them deciding to cut Shazam altogether or keep part of Shazam. Now, now I'm trying to think, is there anything else I forgot to talk about? I don't know. Maybe if I did, I'll come back to it. So now we're going to get to a little bit of fun. We're going to my speculation. I've kind of come up with my own plan for DC. So this is, if I were James Gunn, I'm not James Gunn. James Gunn's smarter than I am probably in this sense. But I'm going to kind of roll out my own plan for DC because why not, So what I would do, I would say, look, I don't like any of these characters. And look, I have to be forward and say I'm not a huge DC fan in general. So this is a very, very, very biased kind of plan by me. But regardless, I'm going to roll it out nicely. So, you cut everything, okay? End everything. So what I would do is I'd say, look, Matt Reeves, let's chat, okay? Come here. So I'd say, Matt Reeves, I love The Batman. Really one of my favorite DC movies besides my own. I'm pretending I'm James Gunn here. I think the best thing we can do is let the Batman be Batman. Because Batman is the best when he's Batman. And, people like Batman. So Batman, you go be Batman. And I've said Batman like 500 times. Batman would exist. Robert Pattinson's Batman would exist in their own universe over here. Who cares? Literally does not affect anything. Then I would say, hey, look. Gal Gadot, everyone else in that universe, and I don't even know. Thank you for your service. Have a great day. All the best. Except for Supergirl because I think she's new enough, as in she hasn't appeared in anything yet, that I would be like, okay, cut her cameo out of The Flash, if that's possible. I don't even know if that's possible. But if it's possible, cut it out. And then we're just going to reintroduce her. Do you know why? Because this is what we do. Movie 1 in my beautiful slate would be Supergirl. Supergirl versus Brainiac specifically. It would be a Supergirl versus Brainiac movie. Why would it be a Supergirl versus Brainiac movie? Well, because I'm tired of Lex Luthor, Doomsday, even though we only had Doomsday once technically. I'm tired of Zod. I'm tired of all these characters. And at the end of the day, Brainiac and Supergirl makes sense. Supergirl versus Brainiac is the first movie in my slate, my imaginary DC slate. Now you'd be like, that's crazy. And I'm like, sure, you can call it crazy. I'm calling it smart. Next, Batgirl. That's right, I'm bringing Batgirl back from the dead. Her movie is never released. You make a new Batgirl movie that fits within what you want to do, and that's your Batman. Do you know why? Because you don't need Batman. I think Batman's severely overrated. Batgirl is better. Batgirl is cool. You do that. If you really want to, you can find a way to write off Batman. I say just go with Batgirl. Go with Supergirl, Batgirl as your kind of core duo instead of a Superman Batman, because guess what? Maybe it's just me. I'm tired of Superman Batman over and over and over and over. So you do Supergirl, you do Batgirl, and look, remember, what does Marvel's best thing? What are they the best at? Like, what is Kevin Feige's calling card? He doesn't do things the exact same way they're done in the comics, right? So guess what? You can change Batgirl and Supergirl's origins. You don't have to make them the same characters they are in the comics, right? You can have, for example, why not make Supergirl be the last daughter of Krypton and be the survivor who, first survivor, right? Why not? I think James Gunn is very smart because he does say, we're not going to make everyone happy. We're going to do what's going to best show these characters. And I think the best thing you can do, and again, this is my own slate, and if you disagree, let me know in the comments or on social media or whatever. But I would start off with Supergirl versus Brainiac. Then I would do a Batgirl movie. Who would the villain of a Batgirl movie be? I have no idea. I'm going to be honest with you. I have no clue. I was thinking of something like maybe you do Huntress or something like that. Wouldn't do Joker. I would probably do like a smaller DC. Actually, no. You know what? I'm gonna make it. I made a decision. I want Clayface. That's right. Clayface versus Batgirl. That would be the movie. Like Clayface would be the main villain, and you can because I don't think Clayface will ever be done in Matt Reeves' movies, so it's fine, right? So you got Clayface, you got Batgirl, you got Brainiac, you got Supergirl. That's your core strength for the DC, new DC universe. Now, when we're done with those, we say, hey, you know what we're gonna do? Wonder Woman. Just kidding. We're gonna do Constantine. That's right. You're getting a Constantine movie. Now, you'd be like, Constantine, that's crazy. Well, I mean, people love Constantine, so we give them Constantine. You know, you do a darker kind of horror movie, you do magic, all that fun stuff. Come on. If they give us a Constantine movie, would anybody complain? No, they wouldn't. Let's be honest. So you do that, okay? Now you got 3 characters, okay? Now I'm gonna go a little radical here. No, I'm not. You've got your 3 characters. And I mean, I'm in this case, I'm assuming Blue Beetle gets scrapped, okay, or like doesn't count toward this. So you got these characters right now, okay. So like, okay, what do we do now? We've got these things. Well, there's one other character we should do. Do you know who that is? I'll give you a hint. It's one of my favorite characters, or one of my favorite teams. The Justice League Dark. That's right. You don't do any other solo movies. You do those 3. You introduce those 3 characters. Then you do Justice League Dark. Justice League Dark will include Batgirl. Will not include Supergirl. And it'll include Constantine. And you build out the rest of the team. Because at the end of the Constantine movie, Batgirl and Constantine meet up. And there's some threat at the end of the Constantine movie. And they meet up and they talk a little bit. You know, Nick Fury, you know. Iron Man vibes, you know? And you get those 2 together, they talk, and then you go into them saying, we need to find people who are magical, who can help us fight us, because Constantine isn't strong enough to deal with whatever evil magic thing, you know, you want to do Faustus or whatever. You know, we got some evil magic, and we need some good people who are good at fighting magic. You get the team together, you form this team, typical Justice team, then you make this movie, okay? Now, do you know why this will work? Because it's not the normal Justice League, right? Think about it. You've gone a completely different direction, okay? You've gone the direction of, we're not doing any of this, okay? We're doing our own thing. Now, do you know what happens at the end of this Justice League Dark movie? We see a big man. Okay? Big man. Now, do you know who this man is? Give you a hint. He's Darkseid. Now, and I'm wearing my DC shirt today, by the way. You know, because I'm talking about reforming the DC universe. Now, do you know what this big man Darkseid says at the end? Says, he looks to someone in the camera. You know who it is? It's Jason Momoa's Lobo, because I love that idea. And says, bring me Supergirl. And then, guess what happens? Supergirl 2. Lobo vs. Supergirl, or some version of that. And that's when we get to see that movie. That's the movie. And then what you do, and then you start to bring in some of the characters. Because now think about it. At this point, you got 5 or 6 years in the bag. No, you don't. You have like 3 years in the bag, right? You're 3 years now, so think about it. You're like 5 years past when Wonder Woman 2 would have come out, maybe even more, right? You're a bunch of years past past the last Justice League movie. You're past the Snyder stuff. You're past all of that. And then what you can do then, hey, Arthur Curry, welcome to the DC universe. Brand new face, maybe more of a classic Aquaman face. To kind of like really differentiate from Jason Momoa. Hey, Wonder Woman, welcome, right? because I do think you have to bring in Wonder Woman eventually. Hey, Wally West, welcome. You're the new Flash, the original Flash, the only Flash. Then you think about it. You've got a Justice League. Do you know what you got to do? Yes, that's right. You got to do Justice League versus Darkseid, but not yet. No. Do you know why? Because we're going to throw in a New Gods movie because, again, I'm biased and want all of these things. Or a Mr. Miracle movie of some sort to set up Darkseid, then you go Darkseid, boom, boom, boom. And that's how you get to Justice League, and I've not thought farther than that. That is my plan for DC. Now, James Gunn probably won't do this, but I'm going to keep thinking about it because it makes me happy. I think we should just, and look, what I mean to say with all of these ramblings and rantings about DC, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm tired of Batman and Superman, and I never want to see their faces again on camera. Now, Supergirl and Batgirl, that is a duo I can get behind. Why? Because it's fresh, it's different, and it's interesting, and you can do more. Like, look, Superman and Batman have been done to death. Do Supergirl, do Batgirl. Bring in like a Wally West Flash or Bard Allen or something, and give us this kind of different dynamic. Because I think the problem is you keep trying to do the dynamic, the original dynamic, right? But do you know something? I'll tell you something, and I don't know if people know this. The original comic Avengers were not Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, Thor, Black Widow, Hawkeye. That was not actually the team. Like, I think Namor was on the first team. There's a whole bunch of, I'm not even going to remember the first Justice League team, but I can tell you for a fact, it was not Superman and it was not Captain America leading the team with Thor and all these people. So what you need to do is you need to go in a new direction, right? Give us a new team. Do a Justice League Dark movie, then do a Justice League movie. No one's saying don't do a Justice League movie. I think a Justice League movie is a great idea. But you have to have enough distance and you have to do enough different stuff. Justice League Dark gives you this creepy, dark feel, as it says in the name. And I think that's what James Gunn thrives with, right? I think you should kind of go a little bit darker. Now, I think you can have something like a Superman or Supergirl movie where you do make it a little bit more light tone, but why, and then the second one, you can go a little darker when you bring in Lobo, right? Because you do have that, but Brainiac, Brainiac, technically speaking, is like a lighter villain, if you think about it, right? And you can kind of do a little bit of a lighter start so people don't feel like this jarring, dark Snyder stuff, right? And then you can work your way toward a little bit more of that kind of mystical side of things, right? Not necessarily dark in color or dark in tone, but like dark in like being a more mystical movie, maybe a little bit cheaper, right? And I think that's where DC needs to focus and where DC needs to go. Or at least that's where I'd like to see them go. Now again, I actually have no real power, as you can imagine. And so it will be interesting to see what James Gunn does. But I do like my idea. And let me know what you think of my idea and what your ideas would be. Because I'm interested to see what other people think about, what direction DC should go in. But yeah, that's my idea. So, now you know what I realized when I was making this outline for this episode? I was like, you know what I've never talked about? I've recorded a podcast episode, I think I've recorded at least one video. I've never talked about the thing that would be should be the first thing I talk about? Bob Chapek getting fired. I know it happened like weeks ago at this point, but like I never talked about it. And I think mainly because I assumed everyone would understand my reaction was of great happiness and delight because I did not like, oh my god, I can't, Chapek. But yeah, so things is the thing. Bob Iger is a legend. Bob Iger is going to fix Disney. Bob Chapek was a mess. And I've been advocating to get rid of him for the longest possible time. I'm glad Disney did the right thing. I don't know if I love the fact that Bob Iger's coming back. I hope they do groom someone because, he can't do this forever, unfortunately. So, I mean, that's really all I have to say on that. I guess, I don't know. Disney's obviously in a much better spot than DC is, and Warner Bros. And Warner Media and whatever. But I do want to say one thing on this, I guess more specifically, and there's all the rumors, obviously, that there's going to be some big merger. I don't know. because I know people are like, well, Bob Iger wouldn't come back for just like, righting the ship, right? But maybe he is, right? Because he's playing like I think it does more for his legacy if he fixes Disney after, COVID and all the bad shit that's gone on, right, with Disney, and it's gone on with all the, political things that have happened, and Bob Chapek being just an awful human being at times, right? And I think Bob Iger coming back and kind of just trying to fix that would be better than, I think, any big transaction. Do I think they're going to go buy something? No. Mainly because I think that would be awful for the overall movie economy. Or if someone bought them, that might be even worse, right? Obviously they're not buying DC, all these other things. Now, you know what other thing we've talked about a little bit? Kevin Feige and James Gunn are friends, maybe. I don't even know if they're friends, but let's pretend they're friends. Does that mean that this might actually spark the start of the Marvel DC crossover we all want? No, probably not, because I think that the people in charge of both companies would probably rip each other's heads off before they actually let this happen. So, no, I don't think it's going to ever happen, but oh my god, if it did. How much money could a movie possibly make? We would find out with that Marvel DC crossover. But first, DC needs to establish a universe, so James Gunn really get on that so we can... Okay, like, just weird hypothetical here. Again, because I have no co-host or no guest, no one can keep me on track here, so I'm just going to go tangent after tangent. So if they were to do it, right, and they were to do a Marvel DC crossover movie one day, who would announce that? Like, would you would you give it to James Gunn? Would you do it Kevin Feige? Or would you do because if you do a joint kind of panel, does that not kind of tell you exactly what they're gonna do? I don't know. You know what I mean? But I guess, would it even be able to could you keep it a secret if you had if you're gonna do something this huge? I don't know. I think I have a hard time believing you could keep it a secret if you're doing something this big. So I guess it would get leaked anyway, so I don't think it matters if you decide to do a joint panel or not, because you would, again, be basically getting DC, and you would basically be getting Marvel announcing. That would be huge. How much money could that make? I don't know. I do truly believe if there was ever a DC Marvel crossover, that would tell us what the most money a movie can possibly make is. Because I do believe that would be the single most profitable movie in the history of Hollywood. It would literally be the most, I think it would be, because especially, unless it's bad. Even if it's bad, I don't even think quality matters at that point. I'll probably watch it 7 times in theaters just because it's Marvel DC crossover. That trailer would be the most watched trailer in the history of movie trailers. If you thought Infinity War and Endgame were big, wait till that if that ever happens. Oh Lord, that's a fun little tangent. So I don't get to do these when I have someone to keep me on track. But yeah, I want a DC Marvel crossover though. That would be. If I could live to see a DC Marvel movie crossover, oh my god, that would be the end of me. I would just cry and cry and cry and cry, because that would just be everything. I think a lot of people would, because DC Marvel crossover is a dream thing. But yeah, that would be fun. Bob Iger is great. I'm glad he's back. Does anything really change in the day-to-day operations of Disney? I mean, maybe a little bit. I don't know how much really does change, at least immediately. Hopefully you bring in some good people. Some old people, maybe. Certain people in charge of streaming who should have been the CEO when you left. But, all of us make mistakes in life, and you made a mistake with choosing Bob Chapek, and that's okay. I'm also going to make my Oscar video at some point, my December Oscar prediction video, which will have to happen. But yeah, that's all of my takes on everything. Wow. I'm talking, and I'm running out of things to say. I've never run out of things to say in my life, and I'm not going to start now. So, we're going to keep talking about things. I'm just checking my notes to see if there's anything left. No, there's nothing left. So, box office, I guess we'll talk about movie numbers. Now, we're not going to do normal box office predictions because it's kind of boring if I do it by myself. So, we're just going to do some fun, like, let's look at some box office numbers and compare things and do charts and fun stuff because I'm a nerd, I guess. I don't know. We're going to go take a look at some fun numbers. So, first numbers we're going to look at, and I'm just going to close the box for today. There we go. So, the first numbers we're going to look at, we're going to look at some of the top ranking movies or the top grossed movies the worldwide, that's the number. Hello, click, thank you. So, now, you know what's funny? Top Gun Maverick is the number one grossing movie of all time worldwide, right now. Like, not all time, of 2022 all time, of this year all time. I'm unable to speak words. So yeah, but Top Gun Maverick is the number one grossing movie of the year. Then is Jurassic World Dominion. Then is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Then it's Minions Rise of Gru. Like, I didn't even realize Minions Rise of Gru made so much money. Like, am I the only... Oh, it made 60% of its money overseas. It makes sense. Like, I didn't even... Minions, The Rise of Gru is the fourth highest grossing movie of 2022 worldwide. And foreign, let's see how much it is foreign, comparatively, obviously. Because I didn't even realize it was that high. It is the fourth highest movie. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, fourth highest movie foreignly as well. With 62% of its, or 60% of its earnings coming overseas. That's crazy to me, though. Like, did you guys think it was humanly possible for a Minions movie to be this high up? Wait, when was the first Minions released? Or, like, the first, like, God damn, what's it called? Despicable Me. That's what the Minions say. Are called. When was the first Despicable Me release? Let's find out. We're doing some fun on the fly research. Despicable Me. Let's find out. This is why I like having co-hosts too, because I can do this research without it being like weird and awkward. Oh no, I'm not going to distract with AR. Okay, 2010. Let's look at top 10 grossing movies for 2010, or top whatever grossing movies for 2010. And let's just see what it looks like. Okay, we're going to go scroll down to 2010. Come on, internet, thank you. Despicable Me was 9. That's kind of surprising. So in 2010, the number one grossing movie was Toy Story 3. Number 2 is Alice in Wonderland. Hello, Johnny Depp, greatest actor of all time? Question mark. It outgrossed Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. By the way, how the hell did that come in 2010? Wow. That's crazy to me. Wait, was that the original release? No way. Yeah, it was. Oh my god. What the hell is happening right now? It wasn't a re-release? No, it wasn't a re-release. Damn it. Why is that like breaking my mind right now? My mind is being broken. How did Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Inception come out in the same year? And Iron Man 2 came out that year too? And Tangled? What was 2010? 2010 was a weird year. I'm going to say that much. That's crazy. Shutter Island and Harry Potter and Toy Story 3 and Inception all came out in the same year. What a year. Movies were so good back in the day, like 10 years ago, or 12 years. Wow, 12 years ago. God. And then 2011 had Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, Transformers, Dark of the Moon, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Twilight Saga, Mission Impossible, Kung Fu Panda, Fast 5. Okay, let's go all the way back. Let's go to like the early 2000s, like 2004. What came out in 2004? What was good grossing in 2004? Oh my god, Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man 2, Harry Potter 3, Shrek 2, The Passion of Christ made so much money as well. That's crazy to me too. Ocean's 12, The Bourne Supremacy, Million Dollar Baby. Wow. My mind is breaking right now because everything feels like there's been so many good movies in the 2000s. It's kind of crazy. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix came in 2007. Spider-Man 3. Spider-Man 3 came in... That feels so... Oh my god. Wow. This has just been like a mind-blowing few minutes. Because it feels like every movie that... I'm looking at these movies and I'm like, I remember this movie. How the hell? It came in 2007? Oh my god. Okay. You know what's weird? Okay. Why haven't you had an Alvin and the Chipmunks movie in what feels like forever? They used to have one every year and then they just stopped making them. Are they making another one? Alvin and the Chip. And this is why I told you to listen to this while you're falling asleep. So hopefully you fall asleep by this part of the podcast. But you've already subscribed and stuff. So that you can't undo that, I don't think. Are they making a new film? Let's find out. Because at this point, I'm assuming everyone's sleeping. And... Wait, what? Hold up. There's a fourth brother fan theory by fortressofsolitude.co.za. Okay. Yeah, we're not doing that anymore. Let's go to Reddit now. That's how we're going to make a stall for time. We're going to go to Reddit. Now, what are we going to do in Reddit, you may ask? Well, there'd be some post-at brewing, which I want to talk about, so, let's find out. Again, we're going to have to go find the thread I like. We're going to have to find the thread. Why do I have to go so far to find things? I have a thread I need to find. I can't find it. Stop interacting with me on Twitter or on Reddit, people. Come on. I need to find my threads. Okay, there we go. What do y'all think of James Gunn running DC? You ready to hear what people said on Reddit? All 36 people who responded to me. So someone said, I think I really want to see a Blue Beetle and Booster Gold movie by James Gunn. Yes. Worried a bit, but overall okay. I don't want DC to be all humor-based, but it's not like Gunn is directing every film. He just decides which gets made. We'll have to see, but I'm cautiously optimistic. Says Reddit user cousin_rabid. I'm not sure how that nickname or that username came out, but whatever. Rincewind120 also said the Booster Gold comment. Best person do it says DJ Punier and a bunch of numbers. Great news, effective_scallion40. I'm for it. Ugly dog says I'm for it. I say there's no Justice League International announcement. We riot. I don't know what that means. I'm gonna assume he wants they want a Justice League movie. Taste of Scarlet said really liked Guardians of the Galaxy. The shtick got old in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Really liked, and by the way, completely agree with that one. Go Lord, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is a painful watch sometimes. Really likes the Suicide Squad. The shtick got old in Peacemaker. Did never watch Peacemaker, I'm be honest with that. I'm hoping his use of random ensemble teams leads to more heroes getting used without a bunch of origin stories. Thank you. Black Adam did this well also. No, they didn't do that well. They didn't do anything well. That was a disaster of a movie. Full love to everyone who worked on that movie, but that movie was bad. Bad movie. And not every movie is a love letter to classic rock. But see, on the other hand, what if every movie is a love letter to classic rock? Because that is, the best. I don't know. Am I the one who, absolutely loves that? South Wing says, what are you talking about? Peacemaker is the best thing in the DCU. TS Shoemaker says, I'm tired of our current mayor. That's not even related. Okay. People gotta be on topic in Reddit threads, I guess. Ooh, let's get some negativity. Okay. Villain Rules says, fucking pissed. The Suicide Squad and Peacemaker are god-awful, yet I got hate and calls for me to end my life. Okay, now this guy's a negative 10 karma. I can imagine why. Okay, let's see some of the comments. True Leadership says, it's okay, friend. Your opinion is valid. I'm really worried too. The only thing that will put my mind at ease is if Gunn lets Ayer release his cut of Suicide Squad. Just good faith to show that he is open to other creative tones and styles. Stecco says, the only thing that will put my mind at ease is if Gunn lets Ayer release his cut of Suicide Squad. Good, ha ha ha. Good luck with that. True Leadership, thanks. I know you're being sarcastic, but it honestly doesn't seem like an impossibility. And just like people who thought the Snyder Cut was never going to happen, you're going to feel like a real jackass when Ayer does get his cut. Welcome Back Cavill says, considering Gunn's feelings about Leto, and I'm not sure he'd do anything that would send residuals or money his way. And Villain Rule says, I don't like James Gunn at all, especially due to party pictures. I work at a place where kids are. Okay. It's funny how quickly he jumped back on cancel culture when it's somebody else. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're talking about something. I know obviously there's a James Gunn scandal. I don't know what the hell's happening. What? Let's have Superman in prison with the I'm not even gonna read this. This gets toxic. Why is everyone on the internet so toxic? God damn it. Please be nice to people on the internet. Come on. Be nice. Be nice, people. Be nice. 2022 Reddit recap. It's not gonna let me click on this. Okay. Anyways, not the point. Oh my god, at 51 minutes. I've talked for 51 minutes by myself. Okay, if you've gotten this far, I want everyone to congratulate me for getting to 51 minutes of a podcast by myself without a co-host. Now, this will never happen for the next... actually, this might happen again. Who knows? But subscribe to the YouTube channel on YouTube. We've got a bunch of great videos and content and, guests, because I've got to have someone to bounce my craziness off of, or someone to, hone in my craziness. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on social media at comicboys_. We're going to do some cool stuff on the Instagram. We've got the TikTok too, because the TikTok has stuff on it now. We're going to do more stuff with the TikTok. I don't know, I like saying to TikTok. Which is comicboys_ as well. Subscribe to us or follow us on Twitter. That's all these weird things. Subscribe if you're on a podcast app. If you're on YouTube, go to the podcast apps, because apparently those rap things come out, and I want my rap to look better next year than it looked this year. So do that and leave a review and a rating and all that stuff. Please tell me, put 1 star and say you need a co-host with you. Please do it. Or don't do it. I may say with 5 stars, this was the best episode of a podcast I've ever listened to. And if you're sleeping, good night. And thank you for listening to me as you fall asleep. That's all. Thank you all for listening to the Comic Boys Show. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, comment, share your thoughts. Follow us on social media. Follow me on social media at KhalilJamal03. And we'll see you all next time for another episode of the Comic Boys Show. Thank you. Bye-bye.